I know you guys were talking yesterday, just kind of, about the playoffs, kind of projecting a little bit, and it got us thinking about this one too, Rob, of what's the team that has the most pressure, that has to get it done. And for me, despite what it seems like, it isn't Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because everybody's already got their built-in excuse. Everybody's already got their, well, Josh Allen doesn't have this and he doesn't have that. And part of it's true. I've said it. He's got to be Superman all 4 quarters, night in, night out. Defense is okay, not great. Running game with Cook. They don't run him enough. They get away from it enough. He doesn't have big receivers. So I think he's going to get the built-in excuses, by the way, that Lamar doesn't often get at times if he were to lose. I think I'm looking at the Rams. I'm looking at Matthew Stafford and the Rams. And I'm saying, you guys just a handful of weeks ago were going to be the number 1 team in the conference, let alone your division, which is one of the hardest, if not the hardest in football. The hardest conference, you could have had home field advantage throughout this whole thing. You look like you might be the MVP. This looks like a team that could be going right back to the Super Bowl like they were a handful of years ago. And to me, you don't want to waste that. Sean McVay has a chance to separate himself from the Sean Paytons and the Tomlins and the McCarthys, guys who won one and who were good but left a lot to be desired. He has an opportunity to do that. And not to mention, you got the 49ers who are always good. And then you also have, of course, the Seahawks now who look like they're good. In fact, Vegas has them as a favorite. So it's not like, oh, you got some weak division, you can come right back. I think a lot of pressure on a wasted season. You lost to the Panthers a few weeks back. And now if you lose to them again in the postseason, that would be such a waste of a dominant season for Matthew Stafford, waste of a really good season for that team as a whole, where a lot of folks were saying this is the most complete team just, 3 weeks ago until we talk about losing to Seattle, then you lose again, and you had to beat losing to the Falcons, then you had to beat the Cardinals just to look like you were something again. So I think the pressure, to me, is on a team like that because I think the Bills, everybody already has their excuse. Everybody already has their way out, if you will, for Josh Allen and that team. They're not complete like the Patriots or the Texans and some other teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I disagree. I still think it's the Bills because of who's missing in the AFC. I think the Mahomes and Lamar, even though Lamar's never won anything, those missing, when you talked about the AFC, those are the 3 quarterbacks you always talked about vying for. So now 2 of those guys are missing. So it's the Buffalo Bills, and they're the ones who've been close all this time. I think now that the Rams have to go on the road to make this thing happen, I don't think that they're nearly the favorite that they would have been had they been the number 1 seed in the NFC. I think it changed, and that loss to the Falcons was really bad, and the way that they lost to Seattle. They gave Seattle something if they ever face each other again or the situation where Seattle, they were down 30-14 in the fourth quarter. Give up, you know what I mean? They gave up a 16-point lead.
And that's why, to me, that's gonna haunt you.
But I'm just saying that. But to me, Buffalo is the one that if you ever wanted, if not now, when? Like, here's your opening. Are you saying the Chiefs are never getting back to the playoffs, or the Ravens never getting back to the playoffs? You're Josh Allen. You can't beat 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. You can't beat Drake May. I'm just Justin Herbert hasn't been great in the postseason. Who are you not beating?
Yeah. Well, and that's so on paper, we talked about this a handful of weeks ago, and I said that. I was like, dude, 3 of the 4 horsemen are out. Like, this is you. Like, this is your time. But I think when you look at it, you're looking at the Denver Broncos, and you're looking at a coach that has a Super Bowl title. And you're looking at a world-class defense that you and I have talked about throughout this NFL season. That defense is serious business. You're looking at a Texan team whose defense might even be better, and a team that is surging and has won 8 or 9 straight. And your Patriots have been, some people would say, the most complete and maybe even have an MVP in Drake May. And I think people are looking at the Bills like, it's not a really good team. Love Josh Allen. Yeah, he's Superman, but he's going to have to be Superman, 3 games in a row? And that's asking too much. He can't even be normal Josh Allen, right? Which is really, really good, an MVP candidate type of good. He's got to be Superman. And I'm wondering if the bailout is already there, right? People already got their bail ready.
That's different. I understand after the fact, but I'm just saying The Rams have a way harder road now.
But that's the part of it, Rob. They put this on themselves.
Yeah.
You take care of business. You wouldn't have had it this hard.
Yeah, but
they didn't.
It's there now, and now to try to have to go win 3 games on the road to get there is going to be a tall order. And we saw last year in Philadelphia, they had a chance to win that game against the Eagles.
They did.
They had the ball, and first and 10 at the 30 or whatever, and it was 4 and out, and that was the game.
And you know what, Rob? That's because also too they were in that snow, and if they took care of business, they'd be at the Dome, the SoFi. They'd be in SoFi in LA.
And they might have to play Philly again. Yeah,
exactly.
So I don't know. I still think Buffalo, even though I get it, they're not a complete team, but the other teams they need to face. So all right,
I just feel like the bail is right there. Oh man, look at it, the team. Come on, Josh ain't got nothing. I already hear it coming. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.